Hello everyone, my name is Naira Virika, and welcome to the official channel for A Dragonian Tale, which is an animated series I've been wanting to make for close to 19 years. And it's finally happening, which is making my brain do a multitude of backflips. But why did it take me so long to finally start trying to turn this into a real thing? Well, that's kind of what this video is about. I wasted so much time not following this dream when I could have. So, buckle up. I've always wanted to make a cartoon. I remember sitting on the floor of my bedroom in front of my giant wooden TV. Yes, a wooden TV. And watching some of my favorite cartoons and thinking it would be really cool to make my own cartoon one day. And years went by and that dream never really went away. But as I got a little bit older, I started realizing that if I wanted to make a cartoon, I needed a story. And so I started by making these little kind of original characters in the Kirby universe. Kirby may have been the cartoon I was watching at the time. And started making up my own stories to surround these original characters, but also using some of the characters from the show. And then it spanned into making some original characters in the Zelda universe. But then by the time I hit like 15 or so, I stopped creating characters in somebody else's universe. I had joined DeviantArt in 2008, and I started doing these action role plays with a bunch of friends that I met online, which were the first friends I'd ever spoken to that didn't live in my city, where I could literally walk to their front door and say hi. And it was so cool to meet all these people, and I was introduced to what role play was, and we went on these crazy adventures fighting monsters and shadow creatures and whatever. And it started to turn into this unique universe that wasn't based on anything. I started inputting my own ideas that maybe at first came from things like Bleach and Naruto and the Pokemon world and whatever, just these little themes and references. But eventually I spanned away from those things and started coming up with my own characters and my own lore and my own monsters and whatever, until eventually it was all original ideas. And I started thinking, I think I know what story I want to make a cartoon about now. And so I started trying very hard to write stories in this world that weren't role plays. These were just like air quote literature on DeviantArt that was really bad, but I was putting together a bit of a universe. But I stopped at some point. I started reading posts on forums. I started talking to people who were older than me and had a little bit of experience in the world and thought their opinions were law. And a lot of them, wrapping it all up into one ball, was basically like, you need lots of money to do it so that you can pay people and buy expensive software and whatever. And maybe this was true at the time, but that opinion continued throughout the years. Every few years, people would say the same thing. You need lots of money. And growing up poor and basically still being on the poor spectrum, I was like, oh, well, that's something that I'm not able to have right now. And so I started thinking, well, maybe I need to do things that do make money. And so over the years, I'd see YouTubers succeeding doing a certain thing, and I would try to copy them. I'd see musicians trying to do a certain thing that was successful, and I'd try to copy them. And I kept being told that was the way you find success. That is how you reach your goals. You reach your goals by doing the same shit
as everybody else.
Maybe not necessarily in those words, but that's basically what they meant. And so time and time again, I kept putting my real big dreams in life on the back burner, taking this fun animated universe that I've been planning for so long and actually like doing it. Like I had Macromedia Flash. I had a microphone. And I had a few friends that also had microphones. I could have at least concepted out the first episode like 10 years ago. But I didn't. Because I thought I needed money. I needed a team. I needed professional software in a huge studio to even have a chance at making something at all. Even if it wasn't successful, I wouldn't be able to make it without these things. And so I didn't try. And at some point, I started thinking, well, maybe I can try now. But then I started getting advice about how to become successful in a certain thing. It's like if you wanted to be successful as a musician, you can't do anything else. No more animation, no more drawing, no more making videos for YouTube, no more tinkering with electronics or learning how to program. You can only make music. If you want to succeed, you have to hard fixate on that one thing and forget about everything else. And that focus would change every few years. I'd burn myself out trying to create music and learn to be better at it without taking a break. And when I did take a break, all I could do was think about the fact that I was taking time away from getting better at that thing, and then I'd stop taking a break. And then eventually I'd move to drawing, and I'd focus on nothing except for drawing, and then I'd burn myself out on that. And the cycle repeated with every other thing that I wanted to do, because people kept telling me if I wanted to be successful at something, which could then help me reach my end goal, I needed to hard focus on that one thing. But then at some point, I woke up, and I said to myself, why the fuck do I have to focus on one thing? I can understand the concept of if you're focusing on too many things at once, your attention's being spread out too far, and you're not really going to get better at a very quick rate. But why do I have to give up on those other things entirely? Why can't I focus on this thing for a few weeks, take a little breather from it for like a few weeks, and work on this other thing so that I can like actually get better at everything at a reasonable rate, and then I can actually do the thing I want to? Maybe I find a way to blend them together into a scale of sorts. A scale of things that is me. A Virica scale. That's a really bad joke, but that's kind of where my mind went. I was like, why do I have to pick one thing? I know the algorithm on YouTube rewards sameness way too fucking much. But there was a time when YouTube was a place where you could just do whatever the heck you wanted, and people were subscribing to your channel for you. They just wanted to watch you do things. And I've been noticing a lot of people wanting to go back to that, like really bad. And I've wanted to go back to that for a while too, but I was scared to make the leap. Because the risk of not becoming successful at all and not being able to achieve any of the things that I've really wanted to is always a fear in the back of my mind. I'm 34 this year, and I'm only just starting my real journey. And I really hope it's not too late. I know it's probably not, but that's a worry on my mind. And I'm more worried about it because I put my dreams on the back burner for so long. And you shouldn't make that same mistake. Like, everybody has their own story, their own sort of set events that happen in their life that push them into what will eventually be their success or their destiny or whatever title you want to give it. But if you have the chance to even start trying to follow your dreams right now, you should do it. And you shouldn't have to sacrifice anything else in your life to do it. That's ridiculous and very dramatic. People are always making it seem like you have to stop, drawing for fun to become a professional animator, or you have to stop spending so much time on animation if you want to be a successful singer or guitar player. Or if you want to be a YouTuber, you have to focus hard on making videos and you can't do anything else because videos take a long time to film and you have to plan them out and write scripts and whatever. It's like, no, you don't. If you pace yourself properly in all these different areas that you're really passionate about, and maybe even find a way to blend them together, you could find the success and the happiness that you've been looking for your whole life. Thinking back to all the YouTubers that have suddenly quit or have just seemingly become more lifeless in their videos, it makes me wonder if maybe they were following the same advice as me for a long time. if they stopped doing things they loved to focus on this one singular thing that they are passionate about. And at first it was fine. And they felt, oh my gosh, I'm so non-distracted. I'm actually able to get things done. But then as time goes on and it becomes this same thing day in, day out for years, eventually it starts to become stale. And maybe some of these creators think, I should do that thing I stopped doing a long time ago. And then they do it. And then the YouTube algorithm gets very mad at them for it. And then they never do it again. And then their content becomes very stale again. And then one day they post a video saying, I can't do this anymore. All of this is to say, if you have one or many things that you love doing and you want to pursue, find a way to pursue them all. If one of them is actively causing you harm, of course, stop. Or find a new way to approach it so it's not causing you harm. But don't just give up on the things you love. Because honestly, in today's world, it's some of the only positivity that's left. So latch on to the things that make you happy and don't let go. And don't let anybody tell you that you have to stop doing something you love because you won't be successful if you enjoy your life. Anyways, I've been Nair Virka. Thank you for listening to me talk about something I've honestly wanted to talk about for a while and have just felt like I'd be whining if I did it. But here I am whining.